Welcome along to another week of the Semi-Pros, whether you're tuning in via our Facebook Live feed on a Thursday night, you're listening in via the podcast, or if you're tuning in on a Saturday morning via Power FM 88 or 87.8 in Gatton. This is the Semi-Pros. Plenty happening on the show this week. We've got a special guest for ITP Haines Wilson, none other than Shenae Ciesiolka. She'll make her NRLW debut this weekend, so timely to have a chat to the local footy star. So she's one of the many great rugby league talents we've seen out of this region that's made it all the way to the top. And this weekend she'll make her NRLW debut. She's our special guest on the program. We'll also have a look at the shot clock, presented to you, of course, by the Southern Hotel. We'll head out to the Southern Hotel as well and find out what's happening out there as well. We'll also have our Hogans Family Jewelers, Rocks and Diamonds. That's all coming up on the Semi-Pros. Stay with us. Plenty on the show. Stay with us.
Just about due, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Pros. The Semi-Pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Thanks for joining us on the Semi-Pros crew with us. Troy Gurski, how you going?
Good, mate. Ready to roll for another
What's going on?
fun-filled episode. Just trying to make $1, working hard. And
Couple extra percentage on the margins for you.
what's that, mate? I didn't catch that. When did it went out? Work's good. We're busy, and what a time of year. The sport is flowing at the moment. So all the summer and winter stuff's crossing over now. So yeah, it's all happening. Loving it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Steve Glover, how you going?
Good, mate. Good. Yeah, it is. It's into the thick of things, both the NRL and the AFL. So pretty exciting times. So some good footy there was on the weekend. Well, some up and down footy actually. So yeah. It was the NRL was quite bizarre. It was pretty much 4 carbon copies that we saw, where the roughies got away and then got reeled in pretty quick and put to the sword fairly well as well. So round of footy.
Pretty spot on. Joel Stower, how are you? No, we can't hear Joel. Can anyone else hear Joel?
No.
He's on the mime again, isn't he?
He's got the old square head going on, the old squares. 4 gallon poster.
Yeah, so no luck there with him. But anyway, we'll keep moving here with the watching Nay should be on shortly. So Shenae Ciesiolka is our special guest, thanks to ITP and Haines Wilson. Should be up next. Boys, we're having a good one here this week. The what's this called? The soapbox. What I was going to say, Steve, you nearly stole mine, so I'll just keep going with it. Was the week the NRL? Now you've been one that said right from the start only 2 could win it, and I've sort of banged on a bit, said I reckon 6 are in it. I probably was proven completely wrong on the weekend. And you said, was that a prime example of that gap between those top 2 teams and the rest? Because exactly what you said there before. Carbon copy, wasn't it? It was strange. Every single game, an ambush or the underdog, whatever you want to say, it jumped out to a lead, generally speaking, in finals, which should hold you instead for quite a long period of time. Not only did they all get beat, majority of them they were led by 12, 14, 12, 14, whatever it was, in quick time, and they all got reeled in extremely quickly. And so is that an example of just the difference between how much of a gap there is this year between those top 2 teams and the rest?
I think it is. I think it goes to show just having how your halves are, the dominant halves pairings, and how they were just able to steady the ship, wrestle back a bit of momentum and stuck to their game plan. You didn't panic. Traditionally, you'd see some of those younger fellas fall in the pole because they're chasing points and they get hungry and mistakes come in, but don't know, Cleary was just a class act again, and even the South guys there, Reynolds and Cody Walker just stood up and put the Knights to the sword, and I think the same happened there in Melbourne too. So I think, it does show that there's that little that gap. I still think there's only 2, but I don't know whether you can I'll change them around a bit. I don't think the Roosters might be out and the Storm might be in. So
who are you 2?
Penrith and Storm. And the Roosters, I still think the Roosters, they've just got their roster. I don't know. If they fire, they turn up on the day, then they might get home in the prelim final. So, yeah.
That's the thing with the Roosters. I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yep. You're on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. With the Roosters, though, like 1 week they get belted by 60, the next they're going down 1 point to the Premiers. So I think they're still a big, like, they've got the roster to be there, and I think they're flying under the radar as such. Obviously, they run into Melbourne if they get through Canberra this weekend. So that lies the challenge for them. Obviously, Melbourne and the Roosters, that side of the draw, but I still think they're a live chance. I don't think it's only two that can win it.
Yeah.
Last week was interesting, wasn't it? Like, there's some points getting put on. Like, look at the points I scored last week, and that, like, there's two teams that out of the top four, Raiders and Rabbitohs, they can put points on. Like, if it turns into a bit of an attacking feast, those two can put more on probably than the rest. Like, I'm really looking forward to this weekend because you're going to tell a lot how the Roosters, how the Rabbitohs and Raiders are going this week. But tell you what, they win another one. They get it through this week. They're on a bit of a roll. Those blokes, especially the Rabbitohs, they've really caught fire in the last 3 or 4 weeks, haven't they? So
cracking games this weekend, though, in terms of what you say with the top four and obviously the next two. I mean, this weekend, I think the Rabbitohs are $1.60 or 70 against the Eels, so they're running into favouritism there. We finished above them.
They're $1.50 into $1.30. They're red hots now.
What's that, right?
I think they're legit $1.50 into $1.30 or $1.35. So they've been absolutely hammered by the smart men.
Yeah, right.
I see they've come for the Roosters too. They're into like $1.40 odd, $1.40 something, and I think Steve said the Rabbitohs, they're into below $1.40. They've smacked them too. So interesting.
Anyway, well, that was.
But I mean, either of those two teams. So what I was getting at though, outside of the four, you know, it wouldn't be hard to believe to see the Raiders beat the Roosters, just the way the styles they play, and obviously the same with the Rabbitohs. You know, you wouldn't not believe that they beat the Eels either. You know what I mean? So anyone can really win it from this week. And obviously, run into the two teams that are cut above the next week. So what's the week off going to do for those sides, though?
I'll do a lot for Melbourne. Munster can get ready, hopefully be fit. They can't win it without him.
No.
Munster's out. Melbourne can't win it.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what unfolds. But anyway, that was my thought on soapbox. What do you run?
Mine's kind of rolled into yours anyway, mate. Mine was like, the Roosters. Is this the end of a little dominant era for them? You know, a lot of people are writing them off, saying they can't get through, but they're still there at the moment. And they look at last week. Penrith, dominated most of that game, but they were still there at the back end of it and had a chance to win it still. Yeah. So, and everyone's saying Penrith are the measuring stick. So, they weren't far off. They had a chance of rolling them. You can't write them off, can you? But, yeah, what do you reckon? End of their little era?
Yep. They'll get beat this weekend.
No, they'll win this weekend.
I reckon. I think a prime example of its end of the era is how often would a Roosters side lead 14-0 and get beat, or 12-0, whatever they led, can't remember now, against anybody that early.
Yeah.
Ever. And as I said, not only did they get beat, they gave up that lead before half time.
I think every team that led had been reeled in before half time.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's what I mean. Not only with those underdog teams did they jump out to a decent lead, it was evaporated and surpassed before you even got to the halftime interval. It's crazy. But yeah, interesting with the Roosters. Steve, what do you got? What's gloves catch? What are you on?
The pride of Brisbane Town and a heavy rugby league location, South Queensland, getting absolutely dominated by the AFL and the foot traffic there too, doing the talking. So the crowds that are flocking into the Gabba, full sellouts, obviously getting on a winning team. Yep. And the AFL winning the arm wrestle over rugby league in the south of Queensland. South of Queensland is just Well, the Broncos, obviously, in the men's side of things, Bubs would be pretty happy that they finally got a win up last week. Yes, but
my team won again. The Lions, we're rolling, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. All the parochial Broncos fans, the old Homer Simpson backing out into the
into the bushes,
and then coming out the other side with a blue, maroon, gold Lions. So yeah. But I'll tell you what, that game AFL against Richmond was one of probably the best games AFL I've ever watched, I think. So it was outstanding. The pressure from siren to siren. And it looked like they were going to buckle there in the second quarter.
I know.
It was unbelievable. I don't think I've seen a game of sport that intense, on edge from start to finish. In a long, long time. So it was outstanding.
Hey, Steve, did you have that feeling again, like, Brisbane led and then Richmond were coming and you're like, oh, no, not again. They're going to just come over the top and as they've done for the last, I don't know how many games we've watched and they just come straight over the top and nailed us where, geez, they withstood, didn't they?
I think after the second quarter, like Dad said, I was waiting for them to crack and I let the floodgates for Richmond run 4 or 5 back-to-back goals, but when they withheld that and they held them out, and they not only did that, they counted back and ended up stretching a lead there into the main break. That was from there. I thought it was sort of like the tide had turned, and that like teams of past would have wilted, and you wouldn't have sort of blamed them if they did wilt, because it was unbelievable sort of the ball pressure and everything that was getting put on from every angle. They were just trapped in their back line. So it was good to watch, and I think that's going to do massive amounts for their headspace moving forward into the finals too. So
well, exactly, haven't beaten them for 11 years. What did I say last week? 16 games or something. It's a fair hoodoo to waiver. And then it got even better for the Lions during the week to see Danaher said his chosen location where he wants to be traded from Essendon is to Brisbane Town. So
of course,
next year, but.
You see that when you're going like bastards, nobody wants to touch it. Well, with a young roster playing for the finals, why wouldn't you want to go there? So,
and as someone said, after those Melbourne teams have spent a bit of time in Queensland, they worked out actually it's not as bad a joint. This is better than being in Melbourne in winter. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Joe Danaher's like, sign me up. So he'd probably end up in a Lions jersey next year as well. But yeah, no, good one. We had one comment there. Louis Bannon said he was on there saying go the Lions. So he might add him in a multi or something. So he's keen. So
shot glasses in his mouth, mate. He'll be going all right.
He was up there before we'd go Lions. So, but anyway, we've lost Joel, so that's all right. So that's we're looking at our as I said, just what's happening in sport now. As I said, for ITP Haines Wilson, a special guest that's joining us after the break. So she'll make her NRLW debut this weekend for the Brisbane Broncos. So refer to Shenae Ciesiolka. She's our special guest. She'll be with us after the break.
The next we're going to do this 4 years one in like 4 years' time. I'll be like heaps
Don't make
skinny.
promises you can't keep.
No. Well, I've been working out.
So this month we got to celebrate 4 years in business. Pretty exciting. So we wanted to take this opportunity just to say thank you to everyone that's been a part of the journey so far. We've got a lot of amazing referrers, great customers, great team.
We just love what we do. We love helping the community. It's a massive part of what we are. And as we've been growing, I just want to say thank you so much for your patience. I know that at times, you can be a bit hard to get a hold of on the phone, but we appreciate your patience. It means a lot to us, being able to help you guys out. So, but I do just want to say, honestly, I'm buzzing about next year going on the quiet. We've got some big stuff happening. Yeah. Like some huge things happening.
Got to play it a bit close to the chest.
We do. We will. We can't say too much.
Yeah.
Other than
exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, it's going to be banging.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. So, hey, continue to be on this journey with us. We think of all our clients as family as well. Now you join the Haines Wilson family, and hey, we're really, really, really thankful for the last 4 years. And watch this space.
Excited for the next one. Cheers, guys.
See you guys.
Celebrating 4 years, Haines Wilson ITP, wonderful supporters of us on the show here, and each week they present our special guest, and she's joining us on the show now, as I said, from Toowoomba, from the Brisbane Broncos women's NRL side. Shenae Ciesiolka, how are you?
Hey, good, thank you. How are you guys?
Excellent. Very well. First of all, this weekend, very, very exciting for you. You're in the 17 to make your debut against St George.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. Yeah, it's something I'm really looking forward to. Definitely a little bit nervous. I haven't played league since I was 12 years old. So yeah, I'm really nervous, but looking forward to it at the same time.
So tell us when you found out, or how that came about when you found out that you'd be handed your first jersey.
Yeah, so I was actually just at home one day, and I ended up getting a call from the Broncos coach. He just wanted to have a chat to me, and I knew that it was going on and stuff like that. And he just asked what my plans were and if I'd be interested in signing a contract to play for the Broncos. And obviously I had to think about it because it's quite difficult at the moment with COVID and stuff like that. So we had to actually go into the bubble and give up our job for 6 weeks. So all we'd be doing is going to training and then coming home. That's all we could do. So I had to obviously make a few phone calls, speak to work, and sort out my uni and stuff like that to be able to make the decision, which is a little bit stressful, but yeah, I'm really glad I made the decision in the end.
Was it a hard one to make?
Well, at the moment, so I'm obviously still playing sevens, but this year there's nothing really happening with sevens due to COVID. So all of our main tournaments and stuff have been cancelled. I was still training in Brisbane 3 times a week, travelling down there for sevens. But yeah, all the competitions and stuff had been cancelled. So I guess it was a difficult situation and, quite a hard one to make, but my school and work were very understanding. And then, I guess it made the decision a little bit easier. It was an opportunity I just couldn't hold back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shenae, I think last time we were speaking to you, you were going to Japan, I think it was.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I think, I don't know if I just got back from Japan or we're going to Japan, but I was actually going to Japan again this year. So that was for a Japanese team to play over there for sevens. I got as far as, we went to New Zealand for like a kind of trial match. We went over there and played 2 games. And then we meant to go to Borneo, and that was when COVID hit pretty much at the beginning. And I just made it back in time before they kind of closed everything off and had to self-isolate for 2 weeks. So obviously, never got over to Japan this year, which, it's a bit disappointing because I was really looking forward to it. But maybe next year, or, I'll just see what the future holds and if I can get back over there.
Shenae, the girls are coming off a good win last week against the Warriors. Obviously named in the 17 this week. Where is it likely that you might get a start? What position do you sort of fit into the bill in the rugby league sort of world?
Yeah, so at the moment, it's actually been really difficult, obviously, even due to COVID and stuff. We had quite a short turnaround, and the NRLW competitions, kind of pretty much just a couple of weeks ago got confirmed that it's going ahead. So we only actually had 2 trainings together as a team before they had to announce the team to play the first game and stuff like that. So for myself, never playing league before or playing since I was 12, I didn't actually expect to kind of make the run on team. I had only been to 2 trainings. There's girls that have been there for the last 2-3 years. So I've actually been training on the wing at the moment. It's been quite good though, because I've been able to, kind of see the whole field and what's going on and been learning heaps of things off everybody. So I think, coming off the bench, I'll probably go maybe onto the wing and our hooker might come off and then our other wing might move into the hooker. So possibly on the wing I'll come on, but hopefully get a couple of minutes. I'm not too sure. It just depends how the game pans out.
Yeah, having played 3 different codes now at the top line, so you're the sevens and then the touch and the rugby league. From an outsider looking in, it looks a fairly similar set to a transition there. But what are the major differences between the 3 codes?
Yeah, obviously, the ball skills and stuff like that are quite transferable. The contact's obviously there as well, but it's a little bit different. Obviously, in rugby league, you've got 13 players in the field, whereas in sevens, you've only got 7. So I guess in trying to then block players and out and back to try to create that space, to actually get through is maybe the major difference. And the contact's probably a little bit more full on than sevens because you've got a lot more space to run. It's kind of just one-on-one. So probably there, the major differences that I can see.
Yeah. Shenae, did you have any feelers out there to play league, or did it just literally come out of the blue that someone said, hey, what are you doing? Do you want to play?
Yeah. So to be honest, it's been on the back of my mind for probably a couple of years. Obviously just trying to see where my sevens path was going and what the goal was there. But yeah, I guess the opportunity just come available and it was a perfect year. Nothing was really happening or going on with sevens. So I thought, what a perfect year and take the opportunity, it's pretty much given to me. So yeah, I was just really lucky that, I got the phone call. But it was always,
How hard is it going to be? How hard is it going to be next week? Obviously, you come from a family of Rooster supporters, and if you get named next week to play against the Roosters, Who's the family going to be following on that one, do you reckon?
I don't know about that. I'd like to hope they go for me, but yeah, no, I guess we'll see if the Roosters get knocked out tomorrow night. If they maybe stay in the comp, they might still have a couple of Rooster supporters. If not, I think tomorrow night they'll go a bit quiet.
And obviously, speaking of the family, you're obviously be rubbing it in now, saying that you're the number one league player in the family. I'd say.
It's not hard to beat Brody, surely. No, I haven't even played a game yet. I haven't played a game. I could be absolutely hopeless at it. No idea. See how I go.
And what was your, just talk us through, how did you feel when you got named or got told you were playing this week, you were in the 17, you are going to make your debut?
Yeah, so I guess the biggest difference with league is obviously I'm so new to it all. So at training, I've been having to listen carefully and take everything on board and try to adapt to a different game. So, at training, I've been trying extra hard to, ask the coach questions or ask some of the girls questions or feedback as to, should I have done that or what I can do better and stuff like that. So I guess I've been working really hard at training to try and, fit into the team and kind of adjust to, rugby league. So, it was really exciting to, be named in the 17. I just hope that, I can get on the field and, get an opportunity to have a crack and see what I'm capable of achieving.
Mm.
Going into an organisation like the Broncos too, even though the men and women have probably a bit of separation there, but I'm guessing that the back end or the office is similar sort of thing. Having such a disastrous season for the men, did you feel any, I suppose, that emotion or them coming into an organisation, even on the women's side, back end of their pretty miserable season that they had?
Yeah, so to be honest, we pretty much started training the day that the Broncos actually finished their last game, and due to COVID and being in the bubble and stuff, we're both on separate sides of the training facility, so they're over one side, we're on the other, so we haven't even come in contact or close with them at all. But I guess for us as the women's, we've just been focusing on us, not worried about the men and what's happened. The women's for the Broncos are premiers for the last 2 years, so
2 years.
Yeah, so we're just focusing on, building on that and, just trying to, build on that and keep going really well.
So you girls didn't cop any of the wooden spoons or anything that they were throwing into Red Hill that we all saw on the news?
Actually, it's funny you say that. We actually had training the night before that happened and there was no wooden spoons there. And then, we had to go to training the next day, and by the time we got there, all the wooden spoons were picked up off the ground and stuff. But, we didn't see any, but they most probably would have been on our training field as well.
Are there many other rugby sevens girls that have transformed over into the league for this year?
Yeah, so same thing with the Aussie Sevens girls, with their contracts and stuff like that. There's the World Series has obviously been cancelled because no one can travel. So a lot of the girls down in Sydney actually playing sevens. So I think out of pretty much the Roosters, Dragons and Warriors, out of the 3 teams, there's probably, I think, maybe 4 or 5 girls in each team that I've actually played sevens with in the past.
Okay. Yep.
Either with or against. So there's a lot of girls that have, kind of come across from sevens to actually play the comp this year.
And Shenae, what's your view on, obviously you only watched one game of NRLW as close as you have as a part of a team. What's your take on the standard of this competition as opposed to what you've played? I know they're different codes, probably hard to compare, but at the other top level sports you played on those other codes as to watching what the standard of NRLW is?
Yeah, I guess, to be honest, you don't really know until you get out there. You can sit back and watch and think, oh, maybe I could have done that or maybe I could have done this. But I guess you don't really know the physicality or, the game until you actually get out there and play it. So I definitely think the standard's up there. And obviously, the contact side of it, it's really rough. It's really physical. There's some big girls out there. So, yeah, I'm just trying to prepare myself for, kind of a high standard and, just to go out there and just do my best. But, yeah, I guess I don't really know until I get out there and try.
Yeah.
Who's the superstar on your side, Shenae, that you sort of locked eyes on? I thought, gee whiz, they go all right in terms of the star of your team.
The Broncos, sorry, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, so Tamika Upton, she's playing really, really well at the moment. She scored a hat-trick last week. She scored a hat-trick last week in the game, and she's just been, she's pretty much at her peak at the moment, I think. She's been playing really well. Even in the Wholesome Cup that they played down in Brisbane at the Gold Coast there, she I think she ended up getting player of the tournament or player for the year for that comp. So she's a major star. Yeah, she's at fullback at the moment for us, the Broncos. So she's definitely one to look out for.
When you have much family support there this week, are we in Queensland this weekend?
Nah, so it's actually really unfortunate. We don't have any home games at all. I think maybe because it just works out with the way with the draw, but also because of COVID, like our borders are still closed. So it's quite hard to get the, Sydney teams down here. Because at the moment, like, we're the only team from obviously up here that's travelling to Sydney. So that's why we're actually in the bubble at the moment. We can't really do anything and stuff like that. Whereas the girls in Sydney and playing for the Roosters and Dragons, they are like they're in the bubble, but it's quite not as strict as ours. They're still allowed to go out in public and do things. So we actually play this weekend at Bank West.
Oh yeah,
Play before Eels and who are they playing?
Rabbitohs.
Yeah,
cool.
play before them.
So what's it like in the bubble? Be a bit different.
Well, it only started when we got back from. We had a game in camp on the weekend, so it only started when we got back from there. But for me, a lot of the girls that lived at the coast or something have been put up in houses in Brisbane, but because I was quite late to sign my contract and stuff, it was kind of just easier if I stayed in Toowoomba and just travelled to and from Toowoomba to Brisbane. And it hasn't been too bad because I'm actually still doing uni at the moment, so I've had a lot of study and stuff to do, but we're down there pretty much every day. It's 4 hours travelling each day, so pretty much by the time I leave, by the time I get home, it's time for bed. I'm leaving about, it just depends, maybe like midday or maybe like 1 o'clock each day, so that I'm not back until like between 7 and 10 at night. So it's been really busy, but I haven't been bored yet because I've been trying to get my assignments and stuff done, so I haven't had time at all.
Actually, just give us an insight into that. So, what, as a professional rugby league player, essentially playing in this competition, what's your schedule? What's your weekly routine? What's the team's routine?
So at the moment we have Mondays like an optional day, so we're allowed to go in there and just do anything optional or recovery. And because we're traveling out of the state, we have to get like mandatory COVID tested. So we got to get tested every Monday for COVID, and then Tuesday we start training at about I think it's about 2 o'clock, and we go to about 6. And Wednesday's the same, so 2 to 6, and then Thursday we have off, so it's an optional day as well. You can go in. On the Thursday we have to get COVID tested again, and then on Friday we have a captain's run. So and then we just have some video review, have a team barbecue, and then we got to be at the clubhouse around 7:30 on Saturday. So the biggest thing is with the travel days, they're really quite quite full on because we're meeting at the clubhouse at 7:30. We're getting on a private plane to get down to Sydney, Canberra, wherever we're going. We're obviously playing and then getting a bus home. So we're leaving at 7:30 and getting home at 9:30 at night. So it's a massive day. And then Sunday is a recovery day, and we also have like a maybe 2-hour video review analysis. So yeah, pretty much the COVID stuff's it's quite annoying, but yeah, we've got to get done pretty much 48 hours before we leave, 48 hours when we return. So it's just a requirement.
So two COVID tests per week.
Yeah, so one Monday, one Thursday. Yeah.
How's the nose going with it? Don't they jam it sort of up the back of your head just a bit?
Yeah, they just go right up there. It's weird. It's not a nice feeling, and it doesn't feel real good at all. I thought maybe after the first time you might get used to it, but you definitely don't. It probably gets worse because you know what's happening.
Yeah, incredible the things you have to do. Or as you said, just in this COVID scenario as it is. Yeah. So
So very, very different, that's for sure.
So where does this sort of jumping on board with the NRL now for future? Is it a sort of one and done? If Sevens gets back up and running, you'll look to pursue that once again, or make a fist of it and have a real crack over the next few years in the NRLW?
Yeah, so I'm not, I really don't know what I'm sort of doing at the moment. Like Sevens is obviously not much happening this year, but our main comp has been pushed back to March next year. So I know obviously league and stuff don't have a lot at the start of next year. So I'll possibly, go back into Sevens and just see where that takes me. But I guess, if the opportunity comes available again to play league or play NRLW, I definitely, would probably say yes. It's just something challenging and different. It's exciting. I've played Sevens or touch, for a long time now. So it's just good to kind of be in a new environment and just challenge yourself at something different. So I definitely, wouldn't knock it out the way to kind of do both, or not just choosing one at the moment. I'm kind of just seeing where this takes me and if I enjoy the game.
Is there potential to play both, or is there anybody out there that does do that sort of scenario?
Well, I think it all just depends on the season and whether it clashes or not. Because I think normally last year it actually sort of clashed towards the back end of our 7th season. So I guess it just depends what's going on, whether the seasons overlap and stuff like that. But this year, as I said, it's really different, and you can't really compare this with anything. It's just been a bit crazy. So
Yeah. Now we must
the female version of Sonny Bill, then, really a gun for hire.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I wish I could put a shot on like him.
Now we might actually have you mightn't even know this news or some breaking news. Cameron Moody, Zachy, can you put up this comment? He reckons he's got some inside mail on where you're playing next year. Cameron Moody does. So I don't know if his comments out there. You go, just playing for the Newtown Lions next year.
Yeah, right. Okay, we'll see what happens.
Of course, Cameron Moody is.
Put a hand in the pockets there and dig a few coins
I was
out.
gonna say, They'd have a bit of this too. They'd have a bit of that saved up too.
Find a bit of coin out of your pockets, Cam. Might think about it.
We Coach Moody. He was coach this year, wasn't he? No, it didn't happen. He was coach of the.
That's it. Didn't even really kickstart, but I think I actually went to one training this year, actually, or 2 trainings.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, so you just never know.
So Moody's keen for you to play for Newtown there next year. So there's options. So there's options for you, as well. So Newtown also is come with a decent offer as well for you. So there's plenty of options opening up here. No, I'm serious. So, but there's good chance there. So anyway, so that's Moods. She won't make the run on side. Okay. Must have a fair team. That's all I'll say. So Shenae, is there many local girls that you know of that are playing in other teams? I know you come up against one against St George this week, and Steph Hancock plays for St George, from memory, doesn't she? So
Broncos and then she's got St George this year. But to be honest, from Toowoomba, I can't really think of anybody else that's actually doing it. I've got a couple of mates and stuff from Brisbane and the coast, and that I've played touch with or sevens with that are doing it, but from actually, Toowoomba, there's no other girls.
Yeah, so I thought so. Yeah, so but then you'll come up against Steph Hancock. So this week, so playing.
Steph Hancock charges at you when you're in the line there. How do you go about tackling her?
Brace yourself.
Swing it up.
I reckon I'll let her run past into an ankle tapper.
Yeah, don't go too high, or I'll end up second best, definitely.
So she's up there against that this weekend. So that's that game. So you're the curtain raiser at Bank West before the NRL, qualifying final, whatever they call it. So
we play at I think it's 4 o'clock Sydney time, so 3 p.m. Queensland time.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's obviously all the games on TV as well. So whilst play people get to see these games being played live as they're on, so they can tune in and see you in action on TV.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome. Obviously, women's sport is kind of growing each year, and to be able to be broadcast on Channel 9, Fox, KO and stuff like that, to have the same kind of opportunities the men have is really exciting, and I think it's a great thing for women's sport. Yeah, no,
most certainly is. So right, we might go around the grounds with last questions for you. So, do you reckon you can score a try on debut this weekend, or what?
I don't know, to be honest. I guess in the women's game, obviously, the wingers probably don't see the ball as much as in the men's game. So I guess, if I need to have a run or something, I just need to kind of go in there looking for the ball and, make sure I actually get an opportunity. But, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping, I come on as an impact player towards the back end of the game when, the forwards are a bit tired and lazy in the middle and can hopefully break them open, or it's either going to be that or accidentally step into them and get absolutely smashed. So we'll see how it goes. But, I don't know. We'll just see what happens.
Righto. Joel?
Shenae,
Troy?
So with your career, how much what time of lifespan do you see your career having, with the rugby sevens and with the league? How many more years you got in you?
Well, I don't know. It was actually really, really funny. One of the girls at training said to me the other night, we were talking about age and how old we were, and she's like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, 23." And she's like, "What?" She's like, "Is that it?" I was like, "What are you saying? Do I look old?" She's like, "No, mate." She's like, "You've been around for a long time." So I guess I have been around for a long time, but I think I've still got age on my side a little bit. 23, I think you just kind of hitting your physical peak around this age. So I think, the body's holding up pretty well. Obviously had a major knee injury a couple of years back there, which set me back for a good year and a half. But other than that, pretty much since then, everything's been pretty good. So I definitely say, I've got a couple more years in the body, that's for sure.
Steve?
Yeah, no, did you remember to have some pretty sharp moves on the dance floor? Have you got a trial celebration in the back pocket if you do get over the
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. So when I used to play, rugby league with the boys. I used to do gymnastics. I did gymnastics for 13 years. And when I used to play rugby league with the boys, I'd always do a backflip when I scored a try. So I always have a couple of people say to me now, like, if you score a try, like, surely you're going to do a backflip like all days. But yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that on national TV, considering I haven't done gymnastics in a long time. I'll probably end up doing a backflip and, landing on my head or something. So definitely don't have a try celebration. Won't be doing that one out, that's for sure.
Oh, well, something to work on for the Newtown Lions next year. So
something to work on, for sure. Do it when it's not on national TV.
Yeah, so with the Lions next year. Joel?
So you girls win this weekend, you'll be 2 from 2. Who do you play in the grand final? Who do you reckon?
To be honest, I thought, I haven't obviously got Dragons out yet, but, after watching them last week, I think I struggled with a couple of aspects of their game. I thought, looking at them on paper, like they pretty much got the whole Australian back line, got some really, really good players there. So I think this week we just got to come out firing and hard and, obviously try and get the win against Dragons and then play off the back end of that. But I think Warriors are a team that obviously they've only come together quite late and they're just kind of, they've only got 5 Kiwi girls and the rest are actually imports from around Australia from other teams that have joined them. So I think with them, they have a really strong team. They just haven't had a lot of time to actually play together and gel together as a team. Whereas I definitely think, Roosters as well will be a hard team to beat. So I just think, if we end up making the final, I really don't know who will play. I think it can be, anyone really, to be honest.
Yeah, but hopefully your team is there. Actually, sorry, and I said last question. I just thought of something, and I hope I don't. There's a comment from Anthony Moody, so slick of the wrist, surely. So there you go. So you're getting plenty of advice there from the Moody clan. Shenae, I'm just trying to remember now if this is correct or if I'm way off the mark here. From thinking back from the days when you won 1 million awards with Sports Darling Downs, you've got rugby league in your blood. You are related to the Tevens?
Yeah. So through marriage. So pretty much, So it's only through marriage. So my uncle's ex-wife, brothers with them or something. So, like through marriage, but we are related through marriage. So obviously really good football players back in the day. So yeah, absolutely. So and obviously you've continued that legacy. So whatever sport you've put your hand to, you've been a massive success at. As I said, being able to play all the different codes with a football, no matter what size field or the amount of players on the field, you've been an amazing success. And I think it's great for Toowoomba as a region to have someone like yourself that's playing in the NRLW to have yourself down there. So all the very best with the rest of the season. Have a fantastic debut, and really, really appreciative of giving us a bit of your time on the show this week. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. So see you.
That's Shenae Ciesiolka. We'll take a break on the semi-pro. Stay with us. We'll have a look at the Southern Hotel shot clock. That's up next.
At the Southern Hotel, our Sunday steak special has been so popular, we want to offer it on Saturday too. 180-gram rump mignon, 400-gram New York cut T-bone, or a huge 500-gram grain-fed rump, all for just $23.95. It's better at the Southern.
It is better at the Southern. And then we head out to Southern at the moment, but Shane Mogg's busy. He's working hard. So they've got a pretty good special at the moment for footy finals. So head out to the Southern Hotel, set all the big screens there to watch all of the footy action across the weekend, all of the fight actions on the big screens there as well. All of your racing, it's an exciting time there. So head out to the Southern Hotel. I'll tell you what, a couple of comments that have rolled in since, unfortunately, with probably good thing they didn't come up to ask her about. But I see Saints Touch Club Toowoomba's commented that she's hopeless at beer pong, though. So Jodie May might be making those comments probably. So
fair chance, I reckon.
yeah, so come through there. So, but no, it's great to have Shenae on the show. So we've had her on before on a different sport, but yeah, I think it's obviously awesome that she's playing NRLW with the Broncos. So make sure you tune in and watch her make her debut this weekend. Southern Hotel Shot Clock. What do I want to talk about this week? Last week on TV, so Sunday night, I saw the doco that came out, the test, so a feature-length special, which anyone who watched it was captivating. We obviously had a bit of banter between ourselves just about it in terms of our thoughts on it and how amazing it was. I'll let you kick off, Steve. Wasn't it an incredible viewing?
Mate, it was brilliant. I flicked it on, intended on sort of watching a couple of segments of it, and then probably flicking off and watching it on Netflix or whatever it's on later on. And I could not leave me seat. It was brilliant. I tell you what, it paints the picture of what was that the ball tampering saga. And there's no holes barred in it. They don't try and
exactly
and anything like that. So. It was outstanding. I tell you what, watching it, and then your respect levels for Langer and also Tim Payne, who probably copped plenty of criticism at the time of his appointment, and even his spot in the team, if he deserved that at that point. But mate, they were outside, and just seeing that inner sanctum of the Australian cricket team, and it really is a little bit of an insight into how that dressing room operates, and it was. I loved it. I dead said I'd watch it again. So, absolutely brilliant from start to finish. So,
agree. Thought it was outstanding. Joel?
Yeah, I was much the same. What also I liked as well, it's sort of forgotten a bit too because it was some years ago now. But the Ashes, when they, Smith and Warner returned, and Bancroft obviously, and how hated they were when they walked on the field that first time in England. And the respect that grew for Smith, obviously, when he got hit in the head, he scored all those hundreds, and the way he was sort of like forgiven by the cricket world as such. That's what I really liked as well, in a sense, when I suppose he could have been, outcast forever, sort of thing. When the English fans really stood up and thought, you know what, this bloke does deserve a pat on the back and a clap for the way he's rebounded and held himself through all the adversity. I thought that was really, really good that they sort of captured that as well, and what it did for the team.
Yeah.
Obviously, his presence at the time, like I remember speaking at the time, he just carried the Aussies, didn't he? Like, we were gone for money without him, and obviously that was the birth of Labuschagne as well at the same time. But like Steve was saying too with the Tim Payne thing and that. His capacity and the leadership that he showed in that behind-scenes footage that they were sort of getting at, and they were talking about the Virat Kohli stuff and, those sledgehammers were like, no, you know what, it's getting a bit far. I need to get in there and really show some leadership. That was pretty cool too. So you blokes talked it right at the last in the group chat we got on. So I thought I better, just better live up to expectations. Otherwise, I'll be yours for life. But certainly did that. I was like Steve. I thought, this will put me to sleep. But no, it was very good viewing. They did a great job.
Yeah. Troy?
Haven't seen it, mate.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. I had homework for the week, so
I've watched it twice.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen to watch it. I actually got a few messages from friends over the years that aren't cricket lovers, and actually said, how good's the test? I said, well, I haven't seen it yet. And I'm thinking, this person wouldn't be watching it. They said, we can't stop watching it. And they're not even cricket lovers. They've been, they're kind of getting turned because of this. As you boys have been chatting, it's kind of shown the way the character of a few of those people and how, to come back from what they come back from, the saga in South Africa needed some real strong heads, and obviously the leadership group, Langer, who I said wouldn't even last the Ashes.
He needs a lifetime contract.
Mind you, he's showing exactly what he was like as a cricketer, wasn't he? When he actually played, he was dogged.
Yep.
I've got a few mates that played with Langer in Perth, and they said he is the grittiest, bloke who they've ever played cricket with, a bloke who just trains his ass off. Like he's a black Dan karate instructor as well as a cricketer. They said he's unbelievable, and also he's taken it through his coaching and Payne. Look what Payne's done. It's good to see Payne. You know how long he's going to be there for. Who knows? He's 35 years old now. I think he might have another year maximum 2. But
I hope he gets the next Ashes.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for him to hold off
Carey.
Carey, well, he's an unbelievable talent, but who knows? Carey could even make his way into that team as a batsman only for a while. He's that good.
Look at Matthew Wade, the way it's worked.
Yeah, like Wade's done that. But obviously he's heir apparent. But Payne would have played another 50 tests if it wasn't for injuries that nearly cut his career short. Like those bad finger, broken fingers he got. He was going to give it up just before he got a crack. He was just about to take a job up with Kookaburra. And then playing captain a couple months later.
couple of as I said, anyone who's watched it and anyone's got thoughts on it, please share them with us. But a couple of things that I really took from it. I love the rawness of it. So certain things there were, they've got cameras there and they're following it and they probably said, look, boys, this is what's happening. But I reckon if I was a player, and 2 things I've got out of this. One, just everything that you saw. If I was a player and when Langer pulled that session, the next day after the blown test, the second one, and said, we're going to sit here and we're going to watch the last 15 overs and we're going to learn. I reckon if I was on the team, I would have said, hey, yep, okay. None of you could tell Payne didn't want to. They said Lyon, obviously, remember he couldn't even watch it because obviously I'm sure he's sitting there. I'm sure he was sitting there probably thinking I might have dropped out, I've lost the Ashes here sort of thing. But you reckon someone would have said, but turn the cameras off. This is but you watched it all, what they showed of it there, and you even saw the confrontation, obviously, with Langer saying, well, why didn't we, that particular over when he said, why didn't you bring the field up? And what we wanted was to get 6 balls at Leach. And Payne sort of defended, said, well, what we did, you saw everything. So just a couple of things. One, I thought when you saw all of that, but 2, I thought how much that's a bold thing to do the day after when they're cut as they were and said, we're going to watch this. That would have been horrific watching particularly for a couple of them. Lyon won, obviously, because he fumbled that. Yeah. Marcus Harris, who dropped that catch.
Payne doing that one.
The
The review
was terrible.
It would have been hard to watch, and I reckon it could have went 1 or 2 ways, and it obviously went the right way.
But then obviously he put him into that camp too, where he said, usually in London
we're all going.
And they just brought everyone did everything together, that team environment. Sort of like what the Warriors did this year when they were in the bubble, I suppose, in that same sense that we live and breathe as a team, and that's the way we're going to run. Like that's just class leadership, that in terms of coaching wise.
Yeah. Did they speak about the bowler rotation that they did for the series?
Yep.
At all?
Yep.
Yeah. What did he say about that?
Well, Langer said this is something that it's going to take a well, he sort of said there's going to nearly basically horses for courses sort of thing, or it's going to take a bowling squad that's going to get us through this. So and be prepared.
We're going to pick the team each test that was going to win them that test.
The match.
Yeah. I know, like Joel said before, obviously Smith's heroics and Labuschagne played well, but bowlers are the ones that win you test matches and test series, and our bowlers were on, weren't they?
Well,
probably they had that fire in the belly too, is what I was sort of getting at. Like in terms of like when Jay just mentioned there, when they picked the test for the player for the test, like they all knew they were competing for the spots. It wasn't an absolute lock that they were going to play, so they all had to come out and perform, didn't they? That might have been the fire in the belly that they needed.
Well, prime example, I think we probably talked about it on this show, like Siddle. How is he in there? And he was in those earlier tests or whatever, he was really good.
Pretty good, yeah.
So, and the other thing I want to say, the other thing that I took from it as well, like I love that you see a little bits and pieces or whatever around culture or how different things are set. Did you see when, I think it was when we missed the review or whatever happened along that line, Mick Frappel for tanning, and he kicked the bin and everything's, he kicked the bin or whatever he did, it's gone everywhere. And then he stopped and he's picked it all up. I know that's a really little thing, but I reckon the culture-wise there, there would have been 6 or 7 lackeys that could have rolled in there and picked that all up. But so out of frustration.
And the game was on the line too at that point. Like, he kicked that. Obviously, the next ball, he's picking all the garbage up. It could have been all over, but he carried on.
Yeah. Anyway, there were just a few minor things that came out of it.
That other rawness too, obviously, when they were in the nets, I think it was just before they played India, wasn't it? And, what's his name? Usman Khawaja. He made a bit of a comment, and he sort of just ran him up the wall, didn't he? He was sort of, this is why we're doing this, because, blah, blah, blah. And that was the rawness and how good the doco was, like what you're suggesting there at the start.
That's what he did, didn't he? He said, because we've had 20 batting collapses. Yeah, he was. But
it doesn't matter if you nick off in the nets, you just learn from it and da-da-da. And he copped a spray.
Didn't he?
Pipe down, Usman. Pipe down, son.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know. Did you have any other thoughts, Steve, on it, watching it? Like, there were just a couple of things that I really was intrigued by, actually.
Yeah, no, it is like you've all mentioned, and then even like you mentioned for Line and that reliving that test, like watching that is like how do you butcher this test, and then like you know what happens, but you're still sitting there and you're still half swearing at the TV yourself. So yeah. So like it was just great, but great to see. Another thing I liked was when they all got out and threw their bats, made me feel a bit better. Darius took and throws it, and someone booted the helmet there, and it was good. So it brings back to behind closed doors, everybody's pretty similar when you're play an ordinary shot and get out and you're pretty filthy with yourself.
They're all human.
I'll tell you what, it is good, but I haven't seen it, but I know like what it's like in the sheds in a cricket team. Steve has been involved as well. And it's good for you blokes like who aren't involved with cricket to see what actually goes in behind the scenes in the sheds, like some of the emotions you go through, like with winning and losing, and and it's gone on another level what these blokes have done. Like, it's unbelievable. And the victories, the celebrating and all, did they show a lot of the celebrating as well, like after the games and stuff?
In the sheds, and they had bits and pieces of them, when they but it was, if you haven't seen it, just Google, it's on 7+, just find the test of feature-length theories. It's incredible. So really encourage you to do that. And what's the other topic I want to talk about in the shot clock?
I've got a good topic first. I got a good topic to talk about.
Righto, go.
Chris Waller in Spring Carnival. The bloke is dead set. Every Spring Carnival, he's just got the horses humming, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like I'll give you an example. The Turnbull last weekend, he's run the trifecta. Like, how often do you see that he would run a trifecta in a big race? Like
in a staying race?
In any race. He just dead set airborne.
He hasn't won a Caulfield Cup or a Melbourne Cup yet, has he?
No, he hasn't, not yet. Give him time, but.
Does he want a slipper?
I think so.
He's won a few Cox
so,
plays.
He's certainly won plenty of good ones.
He's got
two. Got 2 Toowoomba Cups back to back. Wheatwood with sexy eyes. So yeah. But the other,
he goes all right.
Yeah, he goes reasonable. That's for sure. So the other one I wanted to ask you guys' thoughts on is, so now we got Origin end of the year. Is it going to be just, I was actually a fan of it. I thought that's a good idea, end of the season, that sort of stuff. But now when you look at and I'm not saying this because obviously Queensland-wise we're going to be really undercooked in terms of players and stuff, but it almost has to me this feel of almost like in the NBA where certain clubs say to their players, no, we don't want you to play. And I'm not saying this is what happens, but we don't want you, where players are opting, obviously, if they've got injuries and things like that and stuff like that, they're going to get those sort of fixed up as opposed to Origin. You probably wouldn't have seen that if that was earlier in the year. Has Origin, is just like, will it have the same feel? Will it be the same as it has been at the end of the season? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just sort of look at it now and you're sort of like, oh God, like there's Ponga's probably not going to play now, is he? You saw even Kyle felt the same as well, he's out because he's getting surgery on this or that. So you look at the players that are banged up at the end of the season. So you're going to have these guys that are going to get through, say, a Penrith and a Melbourne and just say they play in the grand final, then what they're going to have to back up after that and play Origin. You got all these other guys that have already been mad Mondaying and whatever else got to stay and get going. Others that are injured, patched up. So Origin, a bit of a, I don't want to use the word fast, but is it a bit so-so or what?
Yeah. I agree, and I didn't really think about it until you probably mentioned the topic, and exactly as you mentioned, like if it was during the year, Ponga plays through the injury and plays in, and if it, I don't know, is that meaning has it slipped away a little bit? Because for one thing, like back in the past, you'd give your left nut to get an Ryan's jersey, and now there's those couple, they are making that decision. It's probably a combination of, had it finished last week, like the NRL was, and this week was Origin, and then, but because it's now sort of dragged out the back end of the season, it puts you into, it's nearly going to be December, isn't it, by the end of the Origin? And then front back up in March. So and he's doing a shoulder recall, I think, in Ponga's thing,
and he's clearly not right.
Yeah. No. So I suppose that it is the decision that we cut our losses for 2020 or whatever it has been with the COVID and put it down as a year that got away or something and start again fresh, hopefully, 2021. But I think so, yeah. On the flip side, does it give some young fellas an opportunity there that might put their hand up? Like Brimson, I did hear like on his stats there, they were making an argument that they should nearly pick him at fullback over Ponga, just with the way he's been playing and his statistics that's been putting up. So, one thing for sure though, if we're sort of down in the doldrums as Queensland is and written off and an underdog and got nobody, then they'll come out and whoever does put in that jersey, I think they'll still have that pride in it and dig in and get that sort of culture with it.
Yeah,
so
I've no doubt. Yeah, I've no doubt. But I just wonder if it's in hindsight now, and we all love Origin. It's the best of the best. It's the best contest. Is it almost like in hindsight now where if you had your time again, we'd just say, look, we'll just bin Origin. Like they won't have Origin this year. It'll just be I don't know.
The problem is it's the premier spectacle of the comp, isn't it? You know what I mean? As you sort of say, it's probably, I don't know, it probably outsells the grand final and TV wise, and I'm sure it'd outdo it in the numbers, in terms of what do you watch, Origin 1 or the grand final. I don't know what the numbers are, but if it doesn't beat it, it'd certainly rival it. So from a telly perspective, that's why they're obviously keen on running it, because of what about the revenue that it brings for the game and all the like. And during COVID, they still got to crunch and they've got to get the money out of the game. The one thing that sort of with the injuries too, I suppose, how much pressure would the player get from the club in terms of, mate, you got to be back by, you got to be fit, ready to go round one. For example, Ponga, who's I don't know, he just upgraded his deal to, what is it, $1 million deal or whatever it is, $1 million man, let's just say. What about Newcastle in terms of if he plays Origin, delays his surgery, then he's probably not coming back round 3, round 4 sort of thing. So there's probably a bit of duty that goes along with the contract that sort of gets you where you go to in terms of that. I don't know. It's a good one in terms of like what you say, James, as to why it should stay where it is, situated in the middle of the season.
Yeah,
everyone always talks about the rep at the end of the year, but this is probably a paramount reason why it probably should remain where it is.
I agree.
In my view.
I agree.
And again, there's probably a lot of people trying to get out of the bubble too, was the other thing I was thinking as well.
Exactly.
They've been stuck in a bubble, can't even go for a coffee, can't do this, can't do that, and all of a sudden, you're probably just like, actually, I just want to live my life a little bit. So I know I'd be exactly like Steve said. I'd be like that Zach Lomax getting the call. I'd be in tears if I was going to start playing Origin, even just go to Origin camp. So, I certainly wouldn't be putting the surgery on, that's for sure. I'd be putting a halt to that and saying, unlucky to the Eels or wherever I'm playing.
Yeah. Troy?
What was the question again? Yeah.
Don't know. No, Origin.
About Origin.
Origin.
It is what it is, isn't it? This year, it's just what it is. Play at the end of the season. Next year, we revert back to the usual of playing at playing at mid-season. That doesn't matter. Like, even if we get reduced numbers of players, they're still going to put bums on seats and they're going to get viewers still. It's just an absolute beast, Origin. People, it's tribal. People love it. And this year's just one of those years where it's abnormal.
Wayne's back. That'll help.
Yeah, Queensland's going as the underdog, which we love. We'll get written off like probably the year when Fatty won at 3-0.
It's nearly back to about that stage, isn't it? They'll be that far.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think we'll be that far.
Be that long. I won't be far off. Seriously, it won't be far off. Wayne
will know all his players. Not like Fatty didn't know who Ben Ikin was when he saw him in the elevator.
Yeah, cool, mate. The signing session later. Yeah.
But it is. It's just getting to that, isn't it? Bringing Wayne back, big underdogs.
It's got upset written all over it.
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we'll find out. We'll find out in a month or so, whenever it's on. So that's our take. So that's our Southern Hotel shot clock. We'll take a break on the semi-pros. When we come back, we'll wrap things up with Hogan's Family Jewelers, Rocks and Diamonds, and we'll see if we can find you a winner or two or three or four across the weekend.
The process of making jewellery is all about precision and patience. When we're designing with a customer, as long as they give us really good feedback on what we're putting on paper, we generally work through it until we get to the point of what they're really looking for. We can keep changing the sketch. We can sit there for as long as we need to get that right. And that's what it's about, is getting the customer's design exactly how they want it before we go up there and make it. It's amazing as an artist to take a sketch that you've done with the customer and they've basically verbalised their thoughts and you've put it on paper and really super impressed them with what you've come up with on paper. No, it's not impossible. We sit with customers as long as necessary to get the design perfect.
Hogan's Family Jewelers, Rocks and Diamonds of the Week. Rock of the Week. Joel, who are you rocking?
I'm going to rock the, and this is probably not a traditional type rock, this one, in terms of
traditional rock.
How I usually pace people when I rock them. But I'm going to rock the Sharks. Now, I think John Morris, the coach, has done an excellent job for what the cards he's had to deal with. But I mean, somewhere in the office, in the back room stuff, they've got their salary cap is an absolute mess. The players they've got on the money they've got is just an absolute disaster. And that's why I think John Morris has done outstanding to get through to the finals 2 years in a row with the roster. Like players like Kurt Capewell had to leave the Sharks last year, like this season, because the Sharks couldn't offer them any money. They had to just get in nutties on no money to fill their salary cap. Those players have really risen. But I just, I'm just looking at this article here on Fox Sports. They talk about Fafita. He was running around one leg all season, and they're trying to medically retire him. You got Dugan, who's out more than he's in.
Moylan's the same.
Yep. So, I hate to be a Sharks fan, but outstanding coaching nonetheless. So that's what I was saying. It's not necessarily the standard rock as it, it's the pace thing, but their roster, it's just an absolute disaster.
Yeah, and then Sean Johnson comes on the market because Warriors say we don't want him. And say, we'll throw. And he's a very good player, but just in terms of they're just added further imbalance to their.
Honestly, but yeah, he's an injury-prone bloke too. But honestly, without him this year, they wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
That'd have been down at the Broncos. So he goes on the market again now. As of November 1, they go.
But the irony is, a lot of these players that they've picked up and paid huge coin were released or let go by their former club when they were on good money back then. So Dugan, St George, Moylan, Panthers said, "Yeah, look, no, we don't need
to get rid of him.
Yeah, you can go." And Johnson the same. Johnson might be the exception because, as you said, he was very good. He's been very good for them. But those guys, Moylan, Dugan, they were punted from their clubs, and they're still.
Aaron Woods, remember he went.
Aaron Woods, same deal. The Bulldogs,
and then the Dogs tried to get rid of him quick enough. And I hope they've got someone in there up that's going to fix it for them, because otherwise it's going to be a long road for them. Like you were saying about Fafita. Dugan was the same. They were trying to medically retire him during the year. Goes to show how good the recruitment is, and
then you watch
hang on to the players.
Sharks off-season big signing, Jack Bird. They'll probably go pay him $900.
It will be
36 players. Steve,
instead of telling the Bronx to pay our contract, I'll just say we'll take it all on, thanks.
Exactly. Steve, what do you got?
Gonna have to go the Rabbits and the cover-up and the Burgess and whatever's happening there. On the eve of finals and reports of whatever, fake names, drug tests, drug cover-ups, TVs, you name it. It's an absolute cocktail of events, and I think that the Rabbits doctors being dragged over the coals now, and it'll be interesting to see what does come out of that, and then for that to come up, which has been a relatively, for the NRL standard, a pretty good off-field season, probably because they're in the bubble and they can't get up so much. For that to come on, and it is dragged up out of the past, so it's old skeletons out of the closet. But for them to pop up on the eve of the finals, but in saying that, if it is, there's going to be a massive case to answer, and obviously innocent till proven guilty, and it'll go through that sort of thing. But some of those allegations of basically downright cheating from the Rabbits, if the mud sticks and they're proven true, like that's going to be, I don't know, a massive black point all over the NRL, and I'm reading people are jumping up and down, and until it does, this investigation does happen, that they got to be stripped and all that sort of stuff of the year they won the premiership and all that sort of business. So I suppose the fans are jumping up and down about it, and just a pretty sour note to start the final series. Has been a good off season, a good off field season.
Just quickly on that, Steve. What does it also say? If again, innocent until proven guilty, but if this is proven, what does it also say about the South Sydney Rabbitohs? And this was right up to this was always going on. They knew all that was happening. Captain of your club's an extremely important role, from your brand, from your marketing, from your leadership to everything like that. And they say, you're the man. You're the bloke to lead us. And he did some amazing inspirational things on the football field. So maybe they just said, look, well, on the field he's amazing, so we just got to. But do you know what I mean? Like, I still think it paints that in a bad light, doesn't it? Like, because I think it's kind of like over the years why Australian cricket team, why Shane Warne was sort of blacklisted. He was never going to be captain for whatever. We can talk about that another time. But I mean, many people say he should always have been captain of Australia, but he didn't fit the I guess the image, or the didn't have the CV when it comes to his off-field demeanour that was warranted a position of such prestige.
I suppose it comes from Rusty Crowe. He's got a few cover-ups, isn't he? I think throwing the phones and all that sort of stuff that he loves to do. So
I'm not discrediting it either, though. But that article that broke the story is an absolute diatribe. That's the most shit you'd ever read in your life. That's a terrible article. Like, the quotes from the old stepdad or father-in-law or whatever, he's done the old, I was forced to. Sure you were, mate. Honestly, that's the gravy train that was making the money for your daughter. I'm sure you really just, bent over and took, I'll go and do that. Please, turn it up, honestly. When it goes down. I just thought, the old journos just having a field day on the keyboard.
Like, that's how they talk.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another take on it. Troy, what are you rocking?
Joel. I'm rocking the ARU, Australian Rugby Union. Who the hell has let New Zealand have the first two Bledisloe tests in New Zealand? So they're going to have a 4-test series this year for the Bledisloe. First test this Sunday over in New Zealand. Second test, Eden Park. You've got to be kidding me, haven't you? Like, whoever it is from the ARU has allowed that to get through needs to be sacked right now. Well, it's COVID year. Everyone wants a bit of joy. Well, we're not getting no joy against the Kiwis, against the All Blacks. Here you go. We haven't beaten this for 19 years. you have the first 2 tests in New Zealand. We'll come back to Australia and we'll have 2 over here when you was a thump this 150 in each game. What about
Yeah.
you want to try and keep the series alive for as long as you can, and we're going to New Zealand to play the first 2 games. I can't believe it. Like, and the second one's at Eden Park. It's pretty smart from New Zealand Rugby Union. Well, the second one at Eden Park, so then we can prance the trophy around and celebrate in front of all of our spectators. Like,
we've never been beaten our lives.
Yeah.
Seriously, cannot believe it. They would allow them to have the first 2 tests in New Zealand. So, whoever from the ARU allowed that to happen, you should be sacked. So, yeah.
Good call. Well, mine's hopefully I'm not doing this a couple of times for the Australian Cricket Board. Mine's the same thing. So, to see that during the week, the Indians have made a request. They're coming out here this summer. They've made a request that there be a longer gap between the Boxing Day test and the New Year's one because they need some more rest. So they've made that request that we, because we have pretty quick backup there between the Boxing Day test into the New Year's one. They want a longer rest. Same thing, Troy. If Australia says, Virat, no worries, whatever you want, we'll do that.
I hope the Australian Cricket Board replied and said you probably will because we'll beat you in 3 days anyway on Boxing Day. So you get an extra 2 days then.
But honestly, who or what do they think they had to come out to Australia and make demands and say, we want a longer break between these tests?
Because they're used to getting their own way, mate. They've been getting their own way for that long because of the money.
Well, that's exactly what I think they're saying. They're saying, surely you'd have to tell them, well, what do you reckon? When we go over to India, if we say, can you produce a couple of decks like the Wacker?
What's like when they came here last time? They refused to play 2 tests at the Gabba and the Wacker. They only want to play on 1 ground. That was what they wanted to have. So I'd be telling them you're going to the Gabba, that you're going to Wacker, then we're going back to the Gabba again.
Yeah, exactly. That'll do.
We're going to have a day in between.
Yeah. Like Origin, they're going to be back to back to back to back. We're going back to back. Well, yeah. So for me, that one, I was like, leave me out there. So hopefully that surely, after what we watched there, the way Langer and those guys, they will not allow that to happen. Surely.
Speaking of that stuff you were saying, but how good's that series going to be against the Indians come December?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't wait. So surely to God, they won't be doing that. Because, they're coming over here to our country, and obviously in that holiday period, it's just a tradition. And obviously, it's been, how many years they've been doing it now? I don't know, but a lot. So if they change it for the Indians, we'll just replay this segment. Diamond of the week.
Boxing Day at the Gabba too, or what?
Shouldn't we?
The AFL Grand Final. Can we get Boxing Day cricket at the Gabba?
Oh,
how good would that be?
That would be the best ever. Oh, blind for a week.
And we'll have the Melbourne Cup at Eagle Farm while we go.
and the Cox played at Clifford Park.
Yeah.
Sort of crack that.
Kilcoy, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Moody Valley of the North. Yeah, well, it's true. Very good point. We'll have it at Kilcoy. We'll have the Caulfield Cup at Clifford Park or something then. So, Hogan's Family Jewelers Diamond of the Week. What do we got? The good stuff, Joel?
I've got Mesut Ozil. He's the superstar for Arsenal Gunners, the Gunners. Saw this tweet. The old Gunnosaurus, the big dinosaur with the Arsenal jersey that waves the flag, the big mascot, a.k.a. Jerry Quy, so pronounce that as you will, who is the famous mascot man, was an integral part of the club being made redundant after 27 years. So big Mesut Ozil, who's the superstar of the Arsenal side, said, I'm offering to reimburse Arsenal with full salary of the big green guy as long as I'll be an Arsenal player. Yeah, so he's going to pay the wage. He's going to pay the wage for the mascot for as long as he plays for Arsenal, so that the big fella can stay on the flag.
How good's that?
Cracker of a story.
Yeah, Diamond of the Week there. Well done. Good to see. Steve?
Gotta go locally, and we had Shenae there in the NRLW, but during the week, the AFLW had their draft, and Dolby Products. Zimmerly Farquharson, who's been playing a trade out there with the Swannies in Dolby and going up against the Blokes and been a part of the the Lions Academy and also the National AFLW Academy for the last 2 years and the Lions for the last 4 years. I think she's been down there. Finally got a moment in the sun. She got picked up at the Lions' first pick, so I picked number 8 in the draft. And good pictures there you see on the Lions' Twitter there where they've got the friends and family packing in the lounge room and got it on the TV on the big screen. And to hear your name up in lights, it's a pretty exciting time. And that's a competition that's going from strength to strength as well. So to get her opportunity there. 18 years of age, down to the big smoke in the Lions AFL.
Yeah, great story.
For years of hard effort. I think she's been about 8 years. She's been playing out there in Dolby. So
great,
kicking a big sticks. So it'll be very exciting to follow that journey into that top line.
Great story, Troy.
I'm going to go the Darling Down Suns boys. We spoke about them going away to Bundy last week on the show. Well, they've gone away and had a successful campaign and got through to the final, which will be played at the Gabba before one of the Heat 2020 games. So, yeah, congratulations to those boys, Cam Brimblecombe, the captain, and the coaching staff, the Anderson boys involved, and probably Kent Ramus, who wasn't on board this year. He's a South Queensland selector now, would have been up there, but Kent's been the one that's driven that for the last few years, and it's a product of the DDBBL, and I think the success has come through that competition. That was the reason why Kent actually started the DDBBL to start with, was to actually get these blokes some game practice before they got up to these Bulls Masters Championships. And yeah, it's all come through and the hard work's paid off. It's probably been 3 or 4 years in the making. The boys will be playing down there at the Gabba, which is unbelievable. So yeah, congratulations to those fellas.
Yeah, great performance. I look forward to that. Mine's also locally on the Aussie rules front. South Toowoomba Bombers obviously won the AFL flag, so the AFL Darling Downs flag last weekend, and a great triumph for them actually. Won against the odds. They've come up against Gundawindi, last year's premiers, and I think they've been undefeated last season and this season. So for South Toowoomba to roll them in the grand finals, a pretty big one, and also because unfortunately for South Toowoomba, going back however many years, they sort of had that tag of being the Heartbreak Kids. They made, I can't remember how many grand finals they made or how many times they got to the big one after finishing minor premiers or having a great season and just unable to get over that final hump. But they're able to do it on the weekend. So big win there to South Toowoomba. So congratulations to them. Tigers also probably in the women's. They won, I think, 6 straight or something like that now. So they're really dominating the local scene in the AFL women's competition. So that's a look at our Hogans Family Jewelers Rocks and Diamonds of the week. Hogans Family Jewelers Multi of the week. Find a winner. What are we on? Something? Anything?
I'll go early and get an absolute buttload. First race in Brisbane, 1,600 metre, 3-year-old. Moon and Me. It ran last week and ran a really good race, sort of stuck out the back. Got home behind Mass Destruction at Eagle Farm. So some quick backup, 1,400 to the mile. Huxtable gets on, so we'll carry 57.5, barrier 7. Get back, decent speed on up against the Toowoomba Guineas winner in Magic Conqueror. But I don't think that was all that strong, that Guineas, the actuary in a second there. So I think the format of that might get found out. And Moon and Me, I think it's about $4.80, $4.85 to the mile. Right down its alley and run over the top of them late.
Troy?
Back one, I think Steve might have tipped a few weeks ago on the Wheatwood Red Chase. I think you might have been on, Steve. So we've got a few of these ones that are backing up, having their first race back.
It's almost like another Wheatwood.
Just looking through it, there's a lot of the same runners from the Wheatwood field in there. And Red Chase, ran a good race, and the Wheatwood ran second. It's second up now. It's had 4 goes second up for a couple of wins. I think it's prime ready to win after that Wheatwood win. So $4.80, Wheatwood second, sorry. So $4.80. I'll be having a bit of a go at Red Chase, I think.
Red Chase. Joel?
Yeah, I'm going to Scalacci Stakes down in Caulfield, race 5. I was real keen on this thing in the Moya. Didn't get much luck. Diamond Effort. It was held up I don't know if it would have got the leader, but certainly would have done some damage. That's for sure. The second up there at the Valley, comes back to Caulfield, going to get a wet track, loves the wet. Never been beaten third up. It's a good horse. This thing, diamond effort. $4.50, but obviously Alpha Oro, who was the favourite, come out, so now it's in the $3.70. But get the house on, it'll be winning.
Don't know if it'll get a wet track.
Did you not see Melbourne today?
No.
Hogan down there, brother.
Was it? Righto. I'm in Melbourne. I tipped this a couple of weeks ago. It was very unlucky, but that's a story of this horse's life. Cascadian in the Toorak. Just needs a little bit of luck to feature there somewhere in the finish. If it's this, it's now or never. If it doesn't win this, I'll drop off it forever. But it's been really unlucky its last couple of starts, as a few were actually in that Rupert Clark, but wasn't one of Oliver's best. So I'm hoping he produces it on the big one here in the Toorak. I think it'll go very close with even luck at $12. Nice one there for the each way punters or the more place punters to get involved and invest away there. That's a look at our multi of the week. Righto, before we wrap up really quickly, boys, what's happening this weekend? DDBBL, tell us a bit about it. Troy, massive weekend for all the clubs.
Yeah, last round of DDBBL up there at Grammar. So we've got at the 3 grounds up there at Grammar. Beautiful facilities up there. I've drove past a few times this week. Those grounds are immaculate. Last round, 5 teams can still make the 3 spots. So it's a bit of a carbon copy to last year's competition. 2 teams on 3 wins, 3 teams on 2 wins, and pretty much playing against each other.
The old man, and today, and potentially, if the results go the way, there can be 5 teams all with 3 wins.
Yeah. How's that? And as we've said before, just the draft. The draft has done this again.
Does it?
So,
yeah.
I was having a look. We're on the what's the main oval there, Steve? What's it? Old Boys.
Old Boys,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the rugby field. Pretty short, straight boundaries. Mind you, she looks a bit juicy, the pitch, so could be anything on Sunday. But those other 2 fields, Mills and Barber, cracking little grounds. I think you see some high scores. So if you want to see some good cricket, get out there for a look, I reckon.
Right. So who plays who?
So we got a live wire. We're up against Strangy's mob, Hip Pocket Rockets.
Yep.
Who you got, Gloved Valley?
We play the short-armed dinosaurs. Ian O'Brien's commented on there before, so good luck, Ian. The old short-armed dinosaurs. So we got the Raptors, the Lockie Valley boys.
Who does that leave?
That leaves the Rob Smith play the
ADK Aztecs.
And there's I don't know. It will be interesting because there's a few with Brisbane finals on. There's a few teams that are missing their Brisbane players. So it'd be interesting. Be a great day of cricket. Yeah. So I think it's 2:00, isn't it, up there?
2:00, all games. Yeah.
Righto. We got the short arm dice.
That's a cracker. I think you should roll out if you're batting on Sunday, Steve. I think you should roll out like that.
You bang on the arm.
Yeah. Matty Dennis actually used that one on the group chat there when describing him when we were doing the old game rundown. So I'll give him credit for that one, but I'll steal it and get it out there to the world.
Use it if you're out there. If you get a chance to field. Yeah. You don't feel that, do you?
Desky plays for them, and he looks like a little short-armed dinosaur. I can't wait to go out and bat. I've given them a little bit over the time the last few weeks, so I don't think he'll probably give them a reminder. So I dare say a couple of barrage, but anyway, that's what you play, isn't it? I like it.
Well, that's all on this Sunday, so get out and support that. So otherwise you can listen to all the coverage via Power FM or tune into the live stream as well. So plenty of ways to tune into the DDBBL. Then we're into the finals next week. Actually, is it Tuesday's the semi, isn't it?
Yeah, Tuesday down at Raptorville.
Yeah. And then the following, then Sunday's the grand final.
Yeah.
Yes. So right. Well, next week on the show we'll talk about that. We'll do something on the grand final there at the DDBBL. Righto, boys, play well this weekend. Good luck, Steve, against the short arm dinosaurs. Do your best. You will cop it, I'm sure. If Ian O'Brien isn't on there now, he'll watch this back. He always sits, he always tunes in, and he'll know what's going on.
Yeah,
and as I said to you,
sure.
And as I said to you, like this on the radio version of this goes down to 87.8 in the Lockyer Valley as well. So good morning to all of the viewers in the wonderful Lockyer Valley tuning in on Saturday morning.
Steve will be popular down there today.
Yeah, Steve will drop into the Royal.
Paragon will be building no homes down in Gatton, I tell you.
Yes.
But no, good luck this weekend. As always, get out and support some local sport. If you're watching sport on TV, make sure you check out Shenae Ciesiolka, obviously making an NRLW debut this weekend also. So get out and support some local sport. Thanks for tuning in to the Semi-Pros. We'll catch you again next week.
Just about due, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Pros. The Semi-Pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up.